Hey, time travelers.
Hello, humans.
We're doing a quick little video to show you what kind of stuff to look for when you're shopping for a laptop. And we might have some extra background noise because we ate lots of bean chips and protein bars. So you can have a couple reasons to laugh at us being ridiculous in the middle of this video, right?
He has 50 subscribers now.
Yeah, that's a good point. The thing was a challenge. If I got 50 subs, I would make this video where we would see how many times we farted while trying to talk about computer specifications. The first thing is...
I screamed.
The first thing, he screamed. Okay, the tuned thing is looking at brands. And this may be changing, and if you've had a different experience, please comment below. But the best brands that I've seen for the lower failure rate, that means not breaking, are HP, Lenovo, Asus, and MSI. And the next thing is about operating systems. All right, look at this Google image search of Chromebooks. They look like laptops, and you think you'll be able to do lots of things and be productive like laptops, but you won't.
No.
No.
They're $800, some of them. But they do almost nothing. They're like my tablet, except worse.
Really? They're worse than your tablet?
Yeah. They can't even, actually run full Microsoft Office or anything like that.
Well, let's say for the person who doesn't need Office, all they need to do is browse the web and listen to music. Is a Chromebook going to be an annoying piece of garbage?
Yes, it's very slow.
That's my point. So
you can only load basic applications on the web, not
web
an
apps.
App, not an actual app, just web apps.
You can't even install apps like you can on an iPhone or Android?
I don't think so.
So this video is, we're going to give you a range. It's okay, this is the really bottom range, this is the middle, and this is the high. And Chromebooks are so outside of that range, you don't even want to think about considering them.
Schools get them because they're cheap. That's the only reason.
But then schools don't realize they can get laptops for cheaper sometimes. All right, check out my cheat sheet here, because now we're moving into some details. When you're shopping for the CPU, you're going to want to know the bottom, the middle, and the high. But it's hard to figure this out. AMD came out with a new series of CPUs 3 or 4 years ago called Ryzen. And here are some different model numbers lined up so you can see some comparisons. If it says a 3 or a 5 or a 7, that means the series. Obviously, a 3 is the bottom, a 5 is the middle, and a 7 is the high one. And there's an even higher, more expensive one coming out this year called the Ryzen 9. Don't worry about it. This next number after here...
Because we're poor people.
Yeah, because we're poor people. This next number here is the generation. You got some 2s, and then a 3, and this year the 4000 series is coming out. That just means, the latest.
The latest and bestest of random?
All the CPUs would be good. Say, for example, if I got a Ryzen 7 2700U on a laptop that, say, was around $500, I know that CPU would be upper high end in its performance and will become middle range within 3 years. But if I got a 4000, it wouldn't be middle range until 5 years out. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because of the generation of the series. Now the next thing is memory. If all you're doing is like Charlie was talking about, schools buying cheap laptops for people they just do things on the web, you can get by with 4 gigs of RAM. But then you'd have to remember to close all your Chrome tabs,
Yeah, that's why Chrome is slow.
Yes, yeah, because it uses lots of your memory.
And also they use the old ones most of the time. So it's...
Yeah, schools use old hardware.
And also don't get a Walmart laptop either. They're not going to be very good either.
Even if it's a good brand. Because Walmart cuts corners with their agreements with the manufacturer.
Catty corners.
Catty corners. Well, what was I saying? So the minimum you're wanting to shop for on a laptop is 8 gigabytes of RAM. And you can get 10 or 16 maybe for middle range. And an enthusiast is going to try to find a laptop that either has 32 or can upgrade to 32 if that person's, knowledgeable enough to tear the laptop apart and put more memory in it.
Which is my dad.
Yeah, I do that all the time. This computer right over here is not maxed out. Its maximum is 128. That's one of the specifications I make sure I know before I buy something. 128. I don't ever think that I could ever use 128. I'm using 32 because I'm at that, like I said, the enthusiast level.
128 is the storage of my tablet.
I know, right? That's like storage numbers. That's not memory numbers. It's insane.
Yeah.
Speaking of storage, it's a great segue. The next one is about storage.
Because that was literally what it said.
Yeah. Storage is, you're talking about your hard drive or your solid state drive. There's two basic types of solid state drives, SATA and NVMe. You want a solid state drive. Hard drives are the past.
They're chunky and dead.
They're chunky and dead. Well, they still work. They're just so slow, I refuse to use them.
I had a fart sound, but you didn't hear it, sad face.
Yeah, I haven't farted yet. Oh, there's one. All right, there's a hard drive.
I don't know why my body doesn't want to fart. It's like, we're trying to make a video with lots of farts. You don't want.
And we've been pigging out on stuff that causes gas. And I've been like farting all day, but only a little bit. This is a solid state drive, and this is a hard drive. This has moving parts inside. And so it has to find it on the disk in order to get you the data you're trying to load. Just loading a program is going to take forever. Solid state drive is, you just think...
Yeah, and also a hard drive isn't as hard.
That's not appropriate. But a solid state drive is solid.
Like your bones.
Like your bones. It's a bunch of computer chips, so think of it as like a really fast flash drive.
Except Flash is about to die, so you can't use Flash anymore. Sad face.
We're not talking about Adobe Flash.
I know.
We're talking about flashing memory. It flashes it. So your very, very bottom end of storage is going to be a hard drive. And then,
This looks beautiful.
And then your minimum, actually, you want to try to find something with a SATA hard drive.
It sounds like you're taking a crack.
And then your higher class, even faster solid state drives, they'll say PCI or they'll say NVMe.
PCI Express?
Yeah.
Oh.
But that's because the bus that communicates with the CPU is called a PCI bus. I'm saying a bunch of acronyms here. You guys just have to remember which is fast. So I actually have some laptops I was looking at here. And I'm going to share this in a link below in the description. Now keep in mind...
It's Newegg, so they won't sue you.
If there was a price on Newegg, I wrote it here. Amazon doesn't like it when I list their price. But wherever it's red, I'm like, do not spend that much. Go and look at the price on Amazon. It's way cheaper. Because I provide Amazon affiliate links. If you shop using one of my affiliate links, I get a small kickback at no cost to you. This is just full transparency. Okay, that's why they don't let me say the price, because
you get kicked in the nuts.
I get kicked in the nutcrackers. Because the price goes up and down. I was going through all of these, and I actually saw one that's more up my alley. I mean, I even like the price. $509. Ryzen 5, so that's middle range. 4000 series, so it's a 4500U. That's the newest series, right?
Yeah, that thing's trackpad is tiny but big at the same time. It's like, why isn't it giant?
Like I said, it's got a PCI Express SSD, so that's the NVMe kind. 256 gig. Now, one of the things you want to look at with storage is capacity. At minimum, you want 128. Don't get one that has a 60 gig SSD because you could barely fit Windows on that. A 128 gig is enough to have Windows and a few programs. The thing is, and I'm teaching you and him at the same time, over the years, Windows gets bigger because of all those security updates that Microsoft shoves down your throat.
Big Windows and don't need storage.
128 is your minimum. 256 is a really, really good to give you some breathing room for a few years. You can even store pictures on that. Now, if you want to store like your iTunes library, did I just say Apple? Okay. If you have music that you want to store on the same drive as your operating system, which is Windows.
Apple, don't buy Apple products. There's way better value devices for your money.
You get a 500 gig.
Like Apple.
Like, look at this one. That's a 512, right? And even this hard drive right here is a 500. So let's look at another laptop. If you just go, like, let's say you want to shop Newegg, for example. You're going to go to...
Which you probably don't.
Amazon, it has its pros and its cons. Like, it has more selection, actually, but they don't always list the model number. So if I go to computer systems...
Because they don't have.
Laptops and notebooks. Well, I'll show you why you need the model number, and most people that are watching my channel won't need it. But if you're an enthusiast who wants to open it up in a couple years and upgrade something, you need the model number, because before you buy it, you're going to have to do two things. You're going to have to look at the specifications and look at other people tearing it open on YouTube to see if it's easy to increase the RAM or change out the Wi-Fi card.
And also, if the only type of products that you get are Apple products, you're not an enthusiast. So you're...
No, it's a different kind of enthusiast.
I know.
It's like, I want the one that's pretty.
Those Asus ones actually look really nice, too.
So if I'm in laptops here, some really interesting ones, like this Asus right here is one of the ones on my spreadsheet.
That's almost bezel-less.
And it comes in like this peacock blue that's got greenish at some parts of it. Look at that color.
Oh, that's so weird.
I think it's gorgeous.
I like it, though.
You see how the model number is right there? I'm just going to show you guys one example. You know, because over here, if I found the specifications URL, I listed it here on my spreadsheet. And honestly, if I were shopping for myself, this list would be way longer. It'd be like 30 laptops, okay? So if I go to Google and I put in Asus specs, that's CNET, I want the one from actual store.asus.com.
Yes, finding it on Asus. See, like a
They have an orangey red one.
That looks nice. It looks like I could eat it.
And different websites have different specs descriptions, so you have to kind of like...
It's not too thick.
Figure it out yourself. When you ever see the term up to, that means you can find other models in the same series. It says up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, so that's going to be your max. So whatever you buy, there's a high possibility that, let's say you bought one with 8 gigs, you can add another 8 gigs in 2 or 3 years, or just now. And then this one says SSD plus HDD.
Plus.
If it says up to a combination, that means it's got 2 connectors inside for drives. And you could have 2 SSDs if you wanted. Let's look at a different one. Let's look at Lenovo's, because Lenovo specs pages got different kinds of ways to just show the details.
We heart-shaped Lenovo.
Yeah, I do. I got a few of them, actually. Or have had a few of them over the years.
And they're not poopy.
So this is the spec page from this particular model. And this is the one I was talking about earlier that had the 4500U CPU. Now here's something that would keep me away from it. 4 gigabytes of its memory is soldered to the board. That means...
Yeah, that's such a nugget.
Yeah. You can't take it out and put an 8 in there. If I could put an 8 in the other...
That's like impossible to get out. Like the tiny iPods. Like because to get it so thin, all of their parts were soldered. And like if you unsoldered it wrong, it would just die. And also it can get the black spot because it was so like undeveloped to be that thin.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. He watches the YouTubes. Now, here is one Intel. There's less Intels available these days because Intel has not really been innovating in their CPUs for the last 3-4 years.
They're being lame.
They're lame. But see how it says i3? That's kind of like Ryzen 3, okay? They have an i3, an i5, and an i7. But their generation numbers are they're much harder to understand than Ryzen. And if you were to get into the weeds, there were some of the Ryzens that are hard to understand too. But don't worry about all that. There's 2 kinds of really bottom end, super low end, like Charlie was saying, that schools should be buying. And let's say all you needed it was to have like 5 to 10 tabs open in Chrome, and that's all you're ever going to do with your laptop. It's going to be the Celeron, and that's from Intel. But newer development, and because AMD is coming out with new stuff, is the A series CPUs. Like on the spreadsheet, you see there's one here with an A9 and an A6 and an A9. Obviously, it's just like the Ryzens, with this number being higher, being better. But my media center and my server and my laptop that are all in the living room are running A-series CPUs because they've been out since before Ryzen. I do have some closing thoughts for this video, or other thoughts. Smaller is not always better. Sometimes it's worse. That laptop is more prone to being broken. A thicker and or larger laptop may have some advantages, including...
Especially monitors. You need bigger monitors.
Yeah, like a bigger monitor, like a 17-inch screen or 15. I like a 15-inch screen.
You don't need 27 inches.
That has a 10-key pad over on the right so that I can do my budget, right? Calculates my math with the calculator. You can also get more USB ports, which is important.
We need all the USB ports.
So usually you need at least 3. Let's say you got another mouse that takes up 1, and you've got a flash drive that takes up another one. And let's say in 5 years, you don't remember, oh, I need to call Rob to upgrade my Wi-Fi card in my laptop, and you just want to just deal with it yourself. That's cool too. Your third USB port is for a USB Wi-Fi thing.
And also you probably need an HDMI port so you can like do other things, like with your game consoles on it.
Oh yeah, if you want to use it to plug into a TV as a game console or to do a presentation or for whatever reason, if you ever think you're going to output to something else. Okay, and the other thing for a bigger laptop is a 10-number keypad on the right, which I mentioned earlier, and that it's more durable. So if you get like a one that looks like a brick and you drop it, it's less likely for something inside to snap or crack in half.
It's going to break the floor instead, like a Nokia.
Yeah, it's going to pull a Nokia on that floor. Crack that floor. Well, that's it for this video. I think I heard Charlie fart once in this video.
Twice.
You did it twice?
Yeah.
I think our bodies are getting used to the high-protein diet. Hey, tell us in the comments what you think we should do for our 100 subscriber video. You know?
Or he should do.
That I should do.
I already have more than 100 subscribers. Oh.
Don't sigh, you'll breathe it in.
Hey.
Or you click on one of these other videos if you want to watch something else from our goofy stuffs. And subscribe to my channel there. Check out Charlie's channel right here. And check out my social networking stuffs down here. Bye.
Bye.
All right, this is the sync between the webcam and the fart mic. Testing, testing. ABC, 1, 2, 3.